Okay, that took a little bit longer than I expected, but should be ready now. Welcome back, everyone. So I did mention this yesterday, but today we're playing... Well, I shouldn't say playing. Today we're back to punishing Grey Raven, but we're gonna do the story. So, you know, Dreamcatcher. Let's watch the intro. It's really nice. And I did say this a while back. I was like, this is probably the only coding I'm looking forward to now. After the, you know, Dance of Riplets and the Eventide Glow. This one's really nice. But I do not have it, and I probably will not be rolling on it. I simply don't have money. That's it. But what we are here for today is a story. We can't actually go to the story from here. What am I doing? It's a nice coding though. I remember the Plume story. It was really nice. It was a really good story. For the Dance of Riplets. And that's why I didn't want to skip the story. You know, I did say that I'm kind of, you know, focusing more on Project Sekai's story right now. But the main thing is this thing's disappearing in like 2 days, I think. Yeah, it's the 22nd. So the 25th it's gone. 3 days, so I thought, you know, might as well do it. And I'm not in the mood for stalling, so let's get straight to it. Slumberland, 3 days. You know, they try to tie the coding with it. I really missed the Plume story. And, you know, unlike the main story, which, you know, you can kind of do anytime, I think once it's gone, it's gone forever. Forever, basically. Like, you know, if you're looking for Dance of Riplet stories or the Nier collab stories, they're just gone. I don't think they exist anywhere. There's no way to do it other than, you know, to watch something on YouTube and look it up. So, you know, for that reason, I do want to do it. Alright, let's just get to it. No more stalling. I'm not in the mood to stall. It's kind of interesting. When I'm in a normal to bad mood, and even a good mood, I usually end up stalling. But when I'm in a really bad mood, then I don't stall. It's very unintuitive or unnatural, but it makes sense if you understand where I'm coming from. But no one does, so it's just weird. All right. Bonus story: Slumberland, Whispering Forest. This is what the forest seems to be mumbling as the breeze gently ruffles the leaves. In the absence of all the usual passerby, the quiet hallway appears more frigid than ever, with the cold lights that illuminate the place. Standing alone in the middle of a passageway for a good few moments, you finally remember what you came to do here. It's about what I'm going to do after graduating. I'm assuming this is Shiki-kan. You know, sometimes we're in the perspective of someone else, but this is probably Shiki-kan. Since, that or Chrome. Walking down the same passageway you've taken only too many times, you reach that certain office you can't be more familiar with, before you know it. Right before you press the doorbell, however, you hear a weighty voice coming from inside the room. Come on in. 3 green flashes later, the electronic lock unlocks, allowing the alloy door to part to either side. Good day, sir. Walking in, what's his name? Hans, is it? Or could just be using his model. There's a minor spoilers. Well, I think it's big spoilers. Let's just go. Walking into the minimally decorated office, you see the man shutting off the sand table he was using for planning. Instructor, I wanted to talk to your plan about after graduation. He says without a moment's hesitation. I'm not gonna stick my nose into your business, but I need to know your reasoning behind your decision as your instructor. Why did you turn down the Command Central's invitation and apply to be a frontline commandant at the task force? The shrewd eyes staring right at you now are the same eyes that have been watching every single student since you entered the school. You sense neither encouragement nor discontent from his tone, but solemnness and gravity. Hi, Cherry. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. There is no doubt that those eyes will see right through any petty lies and excuses you come up with. Because you can feel the world shaking violently as you open your mouth to speak. Commandant, I don't know who it is. I'm assuming it's Liv. Commandant, could you? And the darkness ensues. We're probably hallucinating. It's probably Liv. It's Liv! Liv is like, you know, just such a stereotypical, you know, shy girl. It's like Kohane. The cutest. Here we are. Okay. Here's where the struggle begins. But you know, I've said before, Liv is not as bad as, say, Pulau, Nanami, maybe Karenina once in a while. Opening your eyes, you find yourself in the lounge with Liv standing right next to you, looking at you with a worried expression. She has one hand on your shoulder while holding a medical device with the other. The screen on the table shows a report in the making. The first half of it seems normal enough, but the second half is littered with strings of garbled letters and symbols, a telltale sign that whoever was typing landed on the keyboard with their face. What? You must have fell asleep. Rubbing your slightly numb face, you return your gaze to Liv.
What are you doing sleeping here, Commandant? A little too tired, I guess?
I'm doing good. It's been a while. College, yeah, college life. Living the college life. Hope you're enjoying it. I see you're working hard. I've been all right. I've still been streaming regularly, and channel growth has been very slow. But I do have some big plans, which I will be hoping to implement in maybe a month or two. But I'm going on vacation to Japan. Right before, in about a month, less than a month now. So I'm looking forward to that.
A little too tired, I guess?
Don't worry, I was just taking a nap.
Oh.
None of the words put Liv's mind at ease. Put up your hands in defeat, seeing Liv all concerned about you. And I thought I'd have a few checkups done too. Liv, can I ask you to do me a favor?
Shift your head backward a little and remember to relax.
Completing the checkup in a breeze, Liv lets out a sigh of relief. Is everything good?
Everything's good, but I'd still suggest you go to bed earlier, Commandant.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm hoping to post a lot of pictures to my Twitter during my trip. And, that's why I've been trying to push my Twitter a little bit more. But, yeah, if I'm being honest, stream growth has been very slow. I'm finding, out what works and what isn't working, so I'm hoping to adapt soon, but right now all I can think about is the trip. I have so much stuff to do, planning. So yeah, I'm always busy, never have enough time, but I'm gonna keep going. College is hard right now with midterms, but I'm taking day by yeah, it's rough. But, enjoy it too. It's, once in a lifetime thing.
Everything's good, but I suggest you go to bed earlier, Commandant.
Liv nods at you. But I've still got work to do.
Well, let me help you with the paperwork then. You can go to sleep earlier if we finish everything ahead of time.
Now, your mind rehab session for the day.
It's completed. You weren't late for today's rehab session, right?
Of course not. With it, both you and Liv break away into a wry smile. For the time being, neither of you is in any condition to fight. What with the degeneration of your muscles and the occasional migraines occurring in Liv's mind. So I'm assuming this is post surviving Lucem, after Liv, sucked up all the punishing virus, saved the world, and, But you're both like basically on the brink of death. With the help of an exoskeleton, you've taken part in a few non-combat assignments, except such assignments don't come by every day. And an exoskeleton is but a short-term solution in the broader picture of making a full recovery. The war has turned white hot, and you know for a fact that Lucia and Lee are far too competent, and they can't stay in Babylonia with Liv and you. You want to be at the front line fighting with the team, but decided to stay behind to perform desk work while rehabilitating instead, after being convinced by them.
I wonder what happened to Lee and Lucia. To
cause no hiccups to the war, Lee and Lucia always make it a point to only contact you when they're back at the base for maintenance. According to them, they've seen small-scale victories in the combat zone. We just have to trust them. And we need to try our best in what we can do.
Yes.
Having worked off the negative vibes, you find yourself concentrating once again on the report. Then, as you go ahead to delete the string of garbled letters and symbols with the delete key, you reach out for the coffee cup sitting right next to you. Yet, much to your surprise, you touch a warm, soft hand instead of a coffee cup. Touching hand, holding hands?
How about something else for a change, Commandant?
Liv passes you a different cup, giving off white steam. The cup has amber-colored tea sitting in it instead. What's this?
This is decaffeinated herbal tea. You should refrain from consuming any more caffeine for the day, given that you've already consumed 180 milligrams.
180 milligrams. I don't actually know, coffee drinkers will know that, but I'm not a coffee drinker. If you've been around, I've mentioned that I don't drink any caffeine at all. Let's see. How much caffeine in a cup of coffee? 95, so basically 2 cups of coffee. Too much coffee, says Liv. Liv explains in a serious tone.
Sugar gun.
Probably best to listen to the expert here, since she's the only one taking care of the team's health. Taking a sip of the tea, you can taste the warm fragrance of the liquid making its way down your throat before it reaches your chest and blossoms, instantly easing you of most of the pent-up fatigue from work. If only. Liv, on the other hand, has taken a seat across from you and begun sorting through the remaining reports. The faintly glowing screen, the sound of keystrokes, the fragrance of the tea, and a Liv working away at the reports. The room is quiet and peaceful, seemingly having nothing save for these left in it. It's been so long since you last felt the same ease of mind.
I need you to go over some parts of this report, Commandant.
Sure. This is like dorm music too. Dorm music is super super chill just because it reminds you of the dorm.
This is the last one.
You go over the report before signing your ID number on. The whole process of sorting through documents was supposed to take you through the entire afternoon, yet here you are, having reached the end of it in under 2 hours with the two of you working on it. Boy, that was fast. Pouring tea into the now empty cup, Liv appears out of it as she keeps her eyes fixated on the global warfare map. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to pinpoint Lucia and Lee. I mean, because I missed her call from last night.
It's not your fault though. An episode of migraine hit Liv out of the blue right before Lucia and Lee dialed in last night, plunging her mind, which hasn't even made a full recovery yet, into an extremely unstable state. After stabilizing her condition with the cable you carried and a deep mind connection you managed to establish before things went out of hand, you put on your exoskeleton and ran up to the Star of Life with Liv in your arms. Liv was still under treatment when Lucia and Lee dialed in. Based on where they were calling from last night. Staff lists, resource provision, and engagement status. All the information about a certain base pops up when you put your finger on it. They should be here. Lucia and Lee's names are on the staff list, with 2 short lines preceding their names respectively. Frame damage 15.32%. Infection 0. Based on the battle report, the two seem to have found a branch of the Red Tide on their own, without the warning of a support type construct. They put indicating beacons in place during their battle with hetero creatures. While the beacons had only a minimal effect in guiding the garrison at the base, they managed to sever the branch with their accurate attacks all the same.
If only I were there too.
Liv keeps her eyes fixated on the very first line of the report. It briefly mentions the resources the base needs more of, with a special note stating that all squads are in need of help from support-type constructs. Don't go, Liv! I feel like she's going to. I'm sure you'll be able to get back there in no time.
And that's if they manage to improve the remote deep mine connection, right?
The deep mine connection helps to stabilize the migraine coming from Liv's mine, and Asimov is working with the rest of his team to figure out a way to establish the connection remotely without a cable. Asimov said we'll be giving it a try soon, right? Grey Raven will be back on the road whole as soon as we have that technical barrier taken care of. Nodding her head, however, Liv suddenly looks troubled with what seems to be an abrupt thought.
By the way, Commandant. By the way, Shiki-kun, I understand that Professor Hippocrates asked you to exercise your body, but I still suggest that you steer clear of ground missions before you make a full recovery.
It's, I have no idea what what it means. I'll just see. Oh, I'll try to. Liv's eyebrows frown slightly at your reply. But lucky for you, Liv raises another question, letting go of the subject.
What are we gonna do now, though?
About that. Liv means well, but it's no doubt much too early for you to hit the hay now. You finish your rehab session for the day in the morning, but you have to make an appointment a day in advance if you want to get to your next session. You have no idea what to do. I don't know, Liv. You got any plans?
Wait, are you asking me?
He's blushing already.
I don't know either, but let's see.
With the ringing of a call filling up the room, you and Liv stop in your tracks. And you take the call. A hologram of Asimov appears. Well, it's been a while.
Where are you now?
In the lounge.
Stop whatever you're doing now. If it's not super urgent, I need you to come down to the Science Council now.
With bags darker than ever under his eyes, Asimov speaks in a serious tone. Oh?
Can't get into details on the line, but I'll fill you in on the situation when you're here. Remember to bring Liv with you.
Eh?
Liv is surprised at the mention of her name.
Liv is there with you, right? Bring her with you.
Alright. And with that, Asimov hangs up.
Why does he need us, though?
I have no clue. But I bet something important. You rise from your seat, taking a moment to really appreciate the fact that you're now in much less pain thanks to all your rehab sessions and nutritional management.
Can I give you a hand, Commandant?
Sure.
Hasukashi.
Doki doki.
It's not a, what's that called? It's not Lucia though. Liv is really cute though. Hi Milky. Lucia is my favorite. Liv is very cute though. She's a very stereotypical shy girl. And she's been with us for just as long as Lucia. With the support of Liv and a crutch, you make it to Asimov's lab.
You really need to stop pampering your Commandant, Liv.
At the lab, you see Hippocrates.
Oh, Professor.
It's none other than Hippocrates, the very person responsible for treating you and Liv. Standing right behind her is Asimov, who keeps her eyes fixated on the screen in front of him, as strings of complicated-looking readings and charts flash past. Okay, I got my win complimented. Alright, thank you, Milky. Why are they working together when they're from different departments? Yeah, so Asimov is the science department, and Hippocrates is from the Star of Life, so she's like medical. Huh, wait.
And judging from that look on your face, I gather you figured out why Asimov had asked you and Liv to come down here.
Does it have to do with the Imperia frame?
Right. We received some data from the probe we left in the Imperia frame. Asimov is working on visualizing the data, except...
Stopping in her tracks, Hippocrates looks back and forth between you and Liv.
Except they don't seem normal.
Let's review. Something's off. They don't know what though.
Done.
Looking up, Asimov turns the screen this way, which now shows a bird's eye view of a dense forest. What's this?
I'll start at the very beginning. You do still remember what you had to go through to get Liv's mind shards back, right?
Of course. After bringing Liv to safety, you filled them in on what you'd gone through, missing not so much as the most minute of details, with the hope that they turn out helpful with repairing Liv's mind.
And you found a 7th mind shard, and that's something we never found previously. After transferring your conscience back to the Eclipse frame, we scanned the Imperial frame with waving signals. With signals of varying frequencies on a regular basis to see if we'd missed anything.
Wait, could it be?
Spot on. The signal is negligibly weak, but it is part of Liv. We took a look at the data sent back by the probe. Bands seem very special, and I describe them as...
Asimov is trying to come up with a more appropriate, layman-friendly word. So we transferred her consciousness. So, right now Liv is back in her old frame, her original frame, Eclipse. Not Lux, not Luminance, not Imperia, but in Eclipse. And we don't know, I'm assuming they just had it in storage. Like, it's in their possession, it's on Babylonia. They scanned the Imperial frames. So I think they're like missing part of Liv's mind or consciousness that's stuck kind of within the frame.
I'll take over from here. Here's an example. Do you remember how many people you passed by in the rehab center yesterday?
I'd be damned if I did.
Correct. See? No one ever remembers how much bread they ate. People don't remember all the information that goes through the brain. We might experience certain things or think about them, but they don't become lasting memories in our brains. It's exactly what the professor said, and this particular set of data is showing us the exact same thing. They are the parts of Liv's mind ignored, forgotten, or if you will, rejected. Based on our analysis of the signal waveform sent back to us, we were able to more or less pinpoint the location of this mind shard that's projecting this forest. Asimov enlarges the window to the extent that it almost takes up the entire screen. Right into the center of the screen now stands the silhouette of a spire, with scarlet plants running along its length. Oh, it's the punishing virus. It's only lightly infected, but it doesn't mean we can just ignore it. Which is why we need you to clean up contamination, in addition to looking into it.
One thing though. Worried, you turn and look at Liv, who you know shouldn't be risking herself over a mission like this with her mind still making a recovery.
Don't worry, Shiki-kun. I'm okay.
I know what's bothering you. Your safety will always be our top priority.
Will it? Will it, you liars?
We have an ample amount of time to get ourselves ready, unlike last time. Asimov came up with a safety trigger program. And what it does is that if and when things get out of hand, the trigger will activate and force you to wake up.
It's like Inception.
And feel free to pull the trigger yourself if the situation becomes such that it doesn't allow you to continue probing.
I guess, Inception's a little newer. I guess, depending on who you ask, I guess at this point, Inception's pretty old already. But for me, someone old like me, Inception's a little newer, so it is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I think I've only watched it maybe 4 or 5 times, compared to something earlier on from my childhood, like Star Wars or like The Matrix. The Matrix is my favorite movie of all time. Like those I've watched like dozens of times. Or even something like Frozen actually came out after that, but Frozen is probably one of those other movies I've watched a lot. It's pretty recent too. But this is Inception. Here we go. Why does it have to be Liv though?
I decided to ask you and Liv to help for another reason. See, the shard and the subconscious mind are similar in that they're both what make up the bottom layer of the mind. And the feedback both of you and your activities there will go a long way toward improving the deep mind connection. You just don't get samples of this kind of mind every day.
Finishing her sentence, Hippocrates' face turns uneasy.
Although I wouldn't want to go through all of it again to get another sample.
I have another question.
Sensing the negative vibes in the air, Liv speaks out. I don't know what's happening either. There's another reason. It's just research. So they want samples on top of Liv's, suppressed or lost memories.
Yes?
How am I supposed to get inside my own mind shard with Commandant?
Asimov wrote you a program that will help you do just that. It'll take you through some fine-tuning first, though. Your Commandant, on the other hand, will get in there when you're done fine-tuning.
Alright. We'll see you in a bit, Shiki-kun.
After waving goodbye at you, Liv makes her way to the mine diving chamber, following Asapov. Then, right when you try to stand up with your crutch, you are forced to sit back down. Ooh. Professor. Are we really doing this? I'm just kidding. Liv is bound to be affected one way or another when she's there in her mind shard. Well, what do you mean? It might be her consciousness or her personality, but what it is will depend on which part of Liv this particular mind shard is.
Let's see. It's her consciousness, but what it is will depend on which part of Liv this particular mind shard is. So it could be a different aspect of Liv.
I mean, to a certain degree, this whole thing is like really getting to know yourself. And I was hoping you could take good care of her when you're both in there.
Hippocrates pats you on the shoulder. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh, here we go. No longer feeling weightless, you can feel the rough bark of a tree against your back as you slowly open your eyes and take in the fragrance of the mud and budding grass. Filtering through the leaves above, the sunlight feels like a gentle touch to the skin, and the crisp calls of birds coming from between the trees travel through the valleys in the distance. Feeling a fluffy lump on the back of your hand, you look down and see that there's a chubby chipmunk sitting on it. That's right, there's like these chipmunks. I thought they were squirrels. Like chipmunks are squirrels that kind of like jump in the coding preview. Oh man, I totally want to buy this after, but it's like $50. I mean, I don't think I want to spend $50 right now. Then, as though an invisible string were severed, the forest is quiet no more. Turning into a furball, the chipmunk rolls off the back of your hand before it disappears into the depths of the forest. You stand up and spend some time collecting your thoughts. Oh, Liv. Your surroundings look exactly the same as what Asimov has shown you, except you don't see Liv around, who supposedly came in with you.
You probably landed at a different location from Liv, because this is our first attempt.
What Hippocrates said back at the lab pops into your mind. It seems like you'll have to find Liv first before starting your mission.
The same way we'd be drawn to what we're most familiar with when looking at a messy picture. There's something that exists between a commandant and their construct that connects them.
I'm just stretching my neck. My jaw hurts a little bit. It's usually my headphones when it's a jaw issue. Let me tighten my headphones a little bit. I think sometimes when the headphones are loose, you might feel comfy, but it actually more pressure on the sides of your head and your ears as opposed to on the top. You shut your eyes trying to get a feel that's certain something, except all you're picking up are the choppy echoes that seem to be taking you nowhere. This is not unlike looking for a particular fish in the absolute dark expanse of an ocean. You know Liv is right around you, yet you're totally clueless as to where to begin looking. And right then, a shaft of light descends. Open your eyes. Liv! Ah. You see a butterfly with 2 pairs of wings and thin black stripes along its body, parting the green fluorescence. You feel like you know the butterfly. The butterfly makes 2 circles around you, leaving traces of light to snow. Traces of light to snow on you that seem to be telling you to follow it. Okay, so it's not Liv yet. It's actually a butterfly that looks, we've already seen it. Follow the butterfly. Drawn by a sense of familiarity, you follow the butterfly as it goes. Following the butterfly, you travel through the wide expanse that's the forest, losing count of the times you've come across the same views. The butterfly's fluorescence is now your only source of guidance down the increasingly secluded path. Right then, you hear noises coming from up ahead. Someone is coming this way, walking on the grass. Liv?
Shiki-kun.
Her voice coming from behind the trees. Liv picks up her pace across the grass, and there she is now, standing in front of you. Ooh! Well, this is a 2D one, so I don't think we've seen this one. We've only seen the 3D one. This one is quite it's very boob heavy. I'm just looking respectfully, but it does feel more than the 3D one at least. Like the shading. Yeah. Man, I want this coding, but it's $50. No, I can't. At least we can do the story. Except she looks a little different from what you remember of her. A grandiose black dress envelops her exquisite body, giving her a solemn aura. The jade green wings behind her, however, add a dreamlike quality to her, and she seems as though she might just vanish in the wind if you so much as look away from her for a split second. Oh.
Commandant, please stop looking at me like that.
She's like, I knew it. I know what you're doing, Shikan. Liv lowers her head, apparently feeling self-conscious because of your unwavering gaze. I'm sorry, Liv. Right, of course. Looking around yourself, you can't help but feel flabbergasted by the view, having forgotten about the butterfly that had taken you here. What's going on here? The Liv you're seeing is wearing a completely different outfit than what she was before coming in.
I don't know. I felt myself like this when I woke up.
Liv reaches for the wings behind her as she starts checking herself out. Maybe this is something your mind chart is doing to you.
Asimov said the same thing.
You have never seen Liv like this before. She's usually just dressed in white and pink. Yeah.
How do you feel though, Commandant?
Choose my words carefully. I don't know. So after that, she was feeling uncomfortable. I don't think I would say this one. She would feel unhappy. Suits you, maybe. I think you look great. It's what I want to say. What I will not say. It's probably this one. Suits you, Liv.
Oh,
Liv seems slightly caught off guard.
I meant to ask you if you've noticed anything out of the ordinary about yourself, too. But still, thank you.
Wait, what was her question? Well, how do you feel, though, Commandant, about not about her? I guess that's what I was thinking, too. I was asking about her. I never felt better. It's fortunate that your injury didn't get transferred over to this world. Are you feeling anything else, Liv?
Well, I'm not quite sure if this is something my mind chart has done to me, but...
Seeing you all baffled, Liv claps her hands 3 times. And with it, you hear noises coming from the trees. When you turn your head over, you see countless chipmunks poking their heads out everywhere. Like a Disney princess, she can, call the animals, summon them. Among the bushes, above the treetops, behind the rocks, they're everywhere. With their tiny black eyes traveling back and forth between you and Liv, they seem to have a hard time comprehending the sight of the 2 human beings in front of them.
It's okay. This isn't a bad person.
And with it, the chipmunks all come leaping out. Before you're even able to react, you find yourself and Liv drowning in a sea of warm furballs, rubbing your faces and palms. How did you find out you can do this, though? You clap your hands 3 times when Liv isn't looking your way, and nothing happens. It's never been difficult for Liv to draw animals toward her because she's always so gentle. But you know that what you witness is on a different level than being just gentle.
I was just trying to brush all the dirt off my hands, and then these babies showed up.
Can you get other animals to come to you?
I did try to change the tempo and the number of claps, and I even tried mimicking this character from a TV show for kids.
Wait, what TV show? Liv stops in her tracks.
Well, I tried all sorts of things, but the only thing I managed to get to come to see me so far is the chipmunks.
With her hands still caressing a little furball, Liv looks away. You carry on speaking as you put on the ground a struggling chipmunk that just fell off your shoulder and was dangling off your chest pocket. Alright, now let's try to bring each other up to speed.
So when I woke up...
Liv finishes bringing you up to speed. You see that your diving point was actually 1 good kilometer away from Liv's, though you came in here at almost the same time. Liv has a pair of wings similar to that on the Imperia frame, except it doesn't allow her to fly, presumably because her mind has made it so. It seems like you won't be flying to the center of the forest. And it's your turn to fill Liv in on what you've been through.
Butterfly, you said? I didn't see when I woke up, though. Should we do a quick round of scan?
Can she still do scans? No, it's fine. You want to learn more about the butterfly, but it's much too fleeting an occurrence for you to spend time on when you're supposed to be looking into the center of the forest. We're sticking to our plan.
I'm analyzing the landscape and the paths.
Oh?
I can't come up with a path that can take us straight to the center of the forest. with all the obstacles in the way.
That's fine. We'll see what the data feedback has to say when we go.
Okay, let's go.
Wait, that's me. Oh, let's go. The chipmunks sitting on you and Liv start jumping off, apparently having sense that you're about to leave. And as they leave, they stuff your pockets full of chestnuts, berries, seeds, and petals. Then, waving its tiny claw at Liv, the last chipmunk disappears into a crack under the rocks. Liv bids it farewell with a smile. Okay, I just realized we're 40 minutes into this already. I don't know how long this story is. I hope it's not 3 hours. I really wanted to do it, but I don't want something that long right now. Doesn't seem like this path is gonna work.
I'm trying to come up with a different route.
You thought a place like this would be the piece of cake for Liv, except this forest is proving to be a lot more complicated than previously imagined. But on second thought, you realize the complexity of this forest. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mute. Should really be attributed to Liv's seemingly endless imagination. This is what happened shortly after you and Liv set out. The path through the forest isn't exactly trekker-friendly, while your shoes with the extra thick soles are keeping your feet well protected from all the sharp stones on the ground. You still need to be absolutely careful so as not to slip off the moss. The trees, the grass, and the flowers, everything around you is of the same color. The forest has not a single trace of humans, and the cries of the insects seems to come from afar. Completely lost, you stay closely behind Liv. And suddenly, Liv stops in her tracks.
Oh, hey?
What's the matter?
This bridge here, it's a little different from how I imagined it would be.
Caught by surprise, Liv seems at a loss for words. Well, there's only so much radar imaging can do, I suppose. Climbing over the rock in your way, you look up from the ground to see the view up ahead. See, this isn't something you need to. The last few words of your sentence get stuck halfway at your throat when you see what's up ahead of you. In front of you now is a valley about 20 meters wide with a bridge above it, connecting either side of the valley. Giving off a crystalline shine, the bridge consists of many discs. The same disc can be seen moving in irregular patterns around the bridge. Enveloped in their somewhat dark surroundings, they're reminiscent of glowing lamps. With a closer look, you see that the discs have long tentacles or semi-transparent belts attached to the underside. Like jellyfish? As though sensing that they're being looked at, some of the tentacles rise and wave this way. The floating jellyfish is greeting you. Yeah, I got the jellyfish.
I never thought we'd run into anything like this. They don't seem hostile though.
You never saw this coming yourself too, because you didn't run into anything out of the ordinary the entire way. Seems like the speed at which time passes isn't the only thing different between mind and the real world. This world seems to be full of strange things that can happen to you at every turn, and the fact that Liv was able to get all the chipmunks to hang around you is but an example of that. And with that taken into account, this jellyfish bridge really shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Aren't they gonna dehydrate? As though trying to answer your question, a few enormous jets of water come gushing out from the depths of the valley, washing away some of the jellyfish that make up the bridge. Wait, what do you say? I guess. Moments later, however, their places are taken over by other jellyfish. Having been graced by the water, the bridge now gives off a lucid shine. You know what's going on, Liv?
I think this just might have something to do with the story of the Magpie Bridge that I heard as a kid.
Liv seems unsure of herself as she speaks. In Kowloon's folklore, the Magpie Bridge is a bridge formed by magpies squishing their bodies together on a certain day. And this jellyfish bridge does bear resemblance to the Magpie Bridge, although one of them flies up there in the sky while the other swims in the water. Which means this mind shard is...
Yes, this particular mind shard probably has to do with all the fairy tales I heard.
Oh, that's why she looks like a forest, like a forest fairy. That's why I called it Forest Fairy Liv. I guess I don't know if the skin is called Dreamcatcher or not.
We might experience certain things or think about them, but they don't become lasting memories in our brains. It's exactly what the professor said. This particular set of data is showing us the same thing. They are the parts of Liv's mind ignored, forgotten, or if you will, rejected.
What Hippocrates and Asimov said about the shard matches what you're seeing. People don't usually remember the fairy tales they hear as kids.
Do you find me childish now, Shiki-kun?
No, not at all. Liv is gentle and doesn't talk a whole lot, but she never fails to look after the people around her whenever she can. She's mature in every sense of the word.
Oh, Shiki-kun.
Liv lets out a sigh of relief.
Should I try to come up with a different route, Commandant?
What's your take, Liv?
Well, I think I should probably take off my shoes first.
Liv looks down at her lethally dangerous high heels. Ooh. With Liv's approval, you step on the semi-transparent bell of the jellyfish, all the while feeling the slipperiness and bounciness of it. All good. Only need to stay low and go at this pace.
Commandant, come back now.
With it, Liv grabs hold of your hand, except it's too late now. The bell crumbles down before it contracts inward, then hunches up. Oh no! Before you know what just happened, you find yourself and Liv coming face to face with a glowing jellyfish in the air, although you can't really, for the life of you, tell where its eyes are. Before you begin falling through the air, however, the jellyfish whips one of its belts and wraps it around you and Liv. Ugh! Except the combined weight of you and Liv seems too heavy for it, sending the jellyfish down into a straight fall, like a parachute with a hole. Fortunately, another jellyfish comes to your rescue in time with its belts. Working together, the two jellyfish float back up once again. At the same time, the grip of the belt grows tighter still around you and Liv. Oh, what's this thing? You feel something as soft as silk against your back.
My wings are getting squashed, Commandant.
From behind you, Liv now speaks in a tone so choppy and low that you can barely make out her words, every last one of which seems to be coming out as the last strand of her being. Tied up tightly back to back, however, you can't see Liv's face. Somehow, you seem to be hearing the hisses of steam. I'm sorry.
That's fine, but I think this is exactly how we're supposed to cross the valley. Hazukashi!
And Liv is right, because you can see that the shining jellyfish and its friend are transporting the two of you to the other side of the valley. From the corner of your eye, you can see that the jellyfish you stepped on at the very beginning is cleaning its bell of the dirt on it using the dews coming off a chunk of moss that it's holding with its tentacles. When it's done grooming itself, the jellyfish does look slightly shinier than it did just moments ago. Is it trying to polish itself?
I don't think they're trying to build a bridge cuddling up together. I think they're just trying to rest.
With a closer look, you see that Liv is right. The jellyfish that you initially thought was acting as the bridge's pier doesn't shine as brightly. With its bell going up and down ever so faintly, it appears to be under a light sleep. So what the jellyfish did to me just now when I stepped on it,
Well, that was probably just the jellyfish feeling grumpy waking up.
Liv sounds at ease, sensing no harm coming from the jellyfish. But right then, your surroundings start growing dark. Moments later, you feel something hard against the bottom of your feet, and the grip around you lets go. Turning around, you see that the jellyfish is still there, and it's now trying to flatten Liv's crumpled wings. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, thank you all, but don't worry about it.
The jellyfish, however, stays where it is, its tentacles obviously not the most ideal of tools with which to flatten the creases. Here, let me fix them for you.
Oh, Shiki-kun. Wait, what? Why are you?
I'm sure they won't let us go if I don't do it. Looking up, you see that the jellyfish are still busy trying to fix Liv's wings. And I'm partially responsible for it anyways.
Oh, Hazukashi. Well then, if you insist.
Bit by bit, you flatten the creases in the chiffon-like wings, in the gentle light coming off the jellyfish. Then, looking up at the jellyfish and then at Liv's wings, now being slowly flattened back to their previous state, you open your mouth to speak. This is just amazing.
This doesn't happen in real life, though.
But even with everything that seemed to stand in our way, people have made amazing breakthroughs and made the impossible possible. Gravity tried to hold humans down, but we found a way to reach the sky and even further beyond. Distance stood between us, but technology made it possible for us to connect with each other whenever we wanted. Lightning was once a power inspiring our awe, but we found a way to make it work for us.
Do you think there's a way for us to make what we're seeing here possible then?
The jellyfish form a colorful, fantastic view around you, beyond description. I don't think so. Let's say something nicer. Somewhere down the road, yes. It might seem like a far-fetched fantasy, but nothing is impossible, so long as there are people drawn to it. You flattened the last crease on Liv's wings. Although still unable to take Liv through the skies and now bearing shallow scars, Liv's wings can open up again, nonetheless. There's not a wonderful thing that is not worth our time and effort. This is what the forest seems to be mumbling as the breeze gently ruffles the leaves. Yes, we made it. Okay, I was like, that was a really long story. That's PGR though. I do feel like it's nice that their story is getting a little bit longer again. You know, everything from Aikma to what was that, the Recitativo, Nanami patch, everything was so short. You know, basically like the last 4 or 5 patches, outside of Cinder burns, they're all so short. But you know, this one, even this side story is so long. Literally, that scene took I'm assuming close to 40 minutes. That's something. Okay, we have 2 more to go. Now's a good time for a break. It's a cute story. If you're a fan of Liv, then it's kind of nice. Though personally, I'm not really a fan of this kind of where there's always where they try to write your player, like write the first person player in. I just don't like it. I feel like it doesn't really, you know, the options rarely represent what I feel or how I would react. You kind of get shoehorned into a super generic character. Oftentimes, not oftentimes, basically all the time, you know, greatly exaggerated, you know, some type of chosen savior type of deal. It's not that great for storytelling, from my opinion. You know, some people love it. For me, it's just there. Okay, but let me take a quick break and we'll get back and we'll finish the rest of the story. Hopefully, you know, by the end of tonight, if it doesn't get any longer. I'll be right back. Thank you. I'm back. Thank you for waiting, everyone. Let's continue. Took a long time. Hopefully we can get through it pretty quickly. Farewell, Wonderland. She bids the fearless fledgling bird with her last farewell. Play story. Holding on to a dandelion, you and Liv made it across the bubbling swamp. It's just pure fantasy now. I mean, it's just more and more. It's getting more fantastical. Making it through the grass maze was almost too easy with Liv's scanning radar. Crossing the rushing river was a breeze too, with the river crab carrying you on its back. We have all these animal friends. You and Liv came the entire way without breaking so much as a sweat. These are true eye-openers, Liv. The views around you seem to grow wilder still. The further into the forest you and Liv travel.
Please, just stop.
The views unfurling around both of you. Liv appears more embarrassed than nostalgic.
Hazukashi, Hazukashi.
Hold on.
Hazukashi, oh, Shishiki.
She covers her now blushing face, yet her equally red ears give her away. When you and Liv reach an empty ground in the forest, you see a line of sheep lying on their side. So furry that their bodies take the shape of a ball, they are, to your surprise, amazingly agile. Right in the middle of the sheep is a saddle, and right when one of the sheep hops over the saddle. Meh. Sound effects, they don't need me to do it. Then comes the next sheep. Meh. Meh. Then comes the third one. Okay, so three baas were the last one. Eventually all the baas turn into a light rhythmic lullaby. I see that you counted sheep in bed as a kid.
Yes, I did. Hazukashi.
I guess my voice is failing a little bit. Let me keep popping these.
Hazukashi.
Hi, Tigress. Welcome back. Liz slowly regains her composure as she looks nostalgically at the sheep.
I'd count them one at a time when I couldn't fall asleep.
Liz says with a smile as she recalls her childhood.
And sometimes I'd end up having even more trouble sleeping because I was so focused on counting them. Have you ever experienced it?
Yes. You actually did have to count to help yourself fall asleep as a kid, but with all the pent-up energy in you. But as an adult, you now spend more time trying to not fall asleep and coming up with ways to help yourself sleep. Why sheep, though? Everyone counts goats, no what?
Because sheeps are cute. kawaii. I'm actually a big fan of sheep. I even had sheep back home when I was a kid. Hazukashi!
You turn your gaze at the line of sheep, which stretches as far out as it possibly can along the horizon all the way from the west to the east. A real big fan with a burning passion too. We didn't say that out loud though. You decide to keep these words to yourself so Liv wouldn't overheat from blushing. You try to herd the sheep somewhere else, yet judging from the fact that none of them even bats an eye, you know your efforts are proving futile. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you can move forward until you figured out a different path. And just look at this. That's so false. Counting helped nothing. I tried that, yeah. Well, I think, it's pretty common for people to say counting sheep or, like it's in movies and cartoons and stuff. So I've definitely tried it before. I definitely didn't do it regularly. Like I would do it like once in a while for like fun. I don't think it was very ever effective though. Yeah. Now I've kind of just embraced my bad sleep habits. And it works out because I'm a VTuber. Looking up, you see that the skies have gone from their previous white and blue to their current tangerine, a telltale sign that nightfall is fast approaching.
Should we find a place to rest for the day, Commandant?
What makes me dizzy is the deprived sleep and being 20 hours awake. Wow, that's crazy. You don't have enough. Being extra tired kind of helps sometimes. But then you don't have enough time to get enough sleep, which sucks. It's, I don't have any advice for falling asleep because I have really bad sleep habits. While everything happening so far has taken place without the projection of a mind shard, you feel every bit as worn out as though you have been going through the day in the real world. There is, in fact, another reason to your making this decision. Well, it's not just because the sun is setting though, see? I'm sure you heard a lot of spooky stories as a kid. Ooh!
Oh, kawaii!
It listens, it chases, and it preys. It's the most feared predator in the dark forest, ready to prey on all souls alive. Listen, as its drool burns the ground, having fallen from a mouth so big that it takes up over half of the monster's body. Look, it will never let you go once. It has murderous eyes upon you. So run as far as you can, until you reach the place that can shelter you. It's Shark Spear. For me, I just make sure everything's dark. Yeah, darkness definitely helps, but the light kind of shines in between my curtains. So, even though I kind of regularly sleep at 7 a.m. these days. So it's really bad. That's probably why I don't sleep well either. But it is what it is. That's all I have. I don't have a voice for Shark Spear.
I'm gonna eat every last kid that refuses to sleep. Oh, ooh, ooh. Ooh.
Huh? Holy. I thought it'd be something scarier. To your surprise, however, the predator isn't some terrifying monster. Rather, it's an adorable plushie.
I'm not scared at all, but I eat kids who refuse to go to sleep. Oh.
Seeing the shark plushie leaving, you and Liv poke your heads out of the bushes. Was that something that scared you when you were a kid?
Wait, did that happen to you too?
Well, sort of. Monsters that claim to eat you up if you don't go to sleep on time. Huh. Seems like it's an all-time classic. The only difference is that a scary monster is what you usually get in these stories, rather than an adorable plushie. You approached it because it seemed harmless enough, except it put on a hostile front the moment it sensed your presence. It wasn't scary at all, though.
Are you talking about the plushie just now?
Nodding your head, you start telling Liv about all the tricks grown-ups use to fool you around with from when you were a kid. Green octopus with the... never any of these. Let's just go with the green octopus.
Did you ever feel scared?
I'd hide away under a blanket. Right then, you hear a voice coming from behind you, a voice that you know. There you are, kids who refuse to go to sleep. Run! Shh, focus lines. There's no point in turning around because you know exactly where it is from. Where it is from its footstep and shouts.
I think we should split up, Commandant.
No, don't split up. Running away from the shark plushie, Liv once again makes the same suggestion. Wait, why is it? Wait. What happened? Didn't it run away? Didn't it just leave us alone? I have no idea. It's coming for us now, though. No, don't split up, Liv. And once again, you turn down her suggestion.
But I'm only dragging you down the way I am now.
And you know exactly what Liv is talking about. Her wings, with the fluorescence, make it almost too easy for the plushie to spot them in the dark. We can't just keep running, though. Right then, something lands on your shoulder with a squeak. The chipmunk from before. About to flick it off, you stop it just in time. With the fluorescence coming off Liv's wings, you take a good look at the chipmunk. And that's when you see yet another chipmunk on Liv's shoulder.
Hurry up and hide yourselves. Where are you trying to take us?
One of the chipmunk points its claw in a certain direction. Nodding at each other, you and Liv run in the direction the chipmunk just pointed. Whoosh.
Gone. They're gone. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Passing you by, the cry of the shark plushie disappears into the distance. This place seems safe. When you open the door of the shelter, Liv pokes her head out from the other side. You are now hiding with Liv inside two gigantic pea pods.
Oh, how did the chipmunks find us, though?
I think they probably found us with the fluorescence coming off your wings. You point at the chipmunks who are now chasing fireflies. The fluorescence might be what's catching the monster's eyes in the dark, but it also stands as an inviting beacon to friends.
What would you have done, though, if they had never shown up?
I would have come up with something before we tired ourselves out. That's not what I wanted to say, but that's the only option.
Oh,
Without saying anything, Liv changes the subject somewhat awkwardly.
this place seems perfect for rest.
Yep, you should get some rest too, Liv.
Oh, I think I'll just...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're supposed to rest on time as part of the rehabilitation process for your mind, right? You cut Liv off before she finishes speaking.
I can just rest whenever I want to, inside my mind.
The opening on the pea pod that Liv is in faces that of yours. Lying down, she meets you in the eye.
But I'll still try to get some sleep, Commandant.
The moonlight is cold and anything but bright, but it shows you perfectly in Liv's eyes. Close your eyes. Her eyes are as gentle as they have always been. Yet at this very moment, you can feel a certain feeling bubbling up from deep within you. Look, Liv. You need to close your eyes before you can fall asleep.
Oh, alright then.
Apparently picking up on your uneasiness, Liv closes her eyes like a good kid. With her stare gone, all that's left around you is the quiet air. In a few moments later, Liv asks you quietly,
Having a hard time falling asleep, Commandant?
I have never for the life of me dreamed of sleeping in the forest of a fairy tale.
The forest of a fairy tale, huh? So, what was your childhood like, Chiki-kun?
Liv's curious voice lingers by your ears. Tell her about part of your childhood. You can't be 100% sure whether all the things you believe are part of your childhood are really part of your childhood, so you decide to go with what you're more certain of. Liv listens quietly for the most part, but she would still raise questions every now and then, which, to your surprise, actually helps you recall a big chunk of your long-forgotten memory. And with it, the conversation went from a monologue to a dialogue, with no end in sight. Your surroundings fall quieter still as time passes. The cries of the insects, loud and clear until just moments ago, have all died down too. The two of you grow sleepy as you carry on chit-chatting in the dark. Time goes by a mile a second as you laugh and chat away. And you And you know you both are feeling the right amount of sleepiness to sleep now.
Oh, I'd love to learn more about you, Commandant, but I guess it's time for bed.
Liv's voice grows distant as you grow drowsy.
Tell me about yourself next time, Liv.
The words coming out of your mouth are garbled up.
Me? I can't remember anything, though. And the things I still do remember really aren't too interesting at all.
Well, everything we've seen so far in here. You need no further proof, because this place you're about to fall asleep at is none other than Liv's childhood itself. Seems to say otherwise. I'll make sure to find it for you. Tell me more about yourself when I found it. You don't remember if you actually said these words before falling asleep. What happened during the day seems to be spicing up your dream. Or you see the lines now, so this is a dream technically. Following a group of migrating sheep, you arrive at a spire, that for which you set out on the journey in the first place. Looking up and seeing the tip of the spire through the thoroughly drenched in scarlet, you feel drawn to it. You take a step forward and over the mud on the grass. Then, with a sharp pain across your forehead, the world as you see it turns blood red. The wool on the sheep tears away to reveal the corrupted underneath, while the spire collapses into a crimson figure. This is your memory from the last rescue mission. That's the corrupted Liv. You tried to make your way up through the sea of corrupted, but the crimson figure slashed right through you. Before chaos tore you apart, the only thing you saw in the world that blurred away was a little white bird. Reliving the memory, you notice something different. You feel like you're missing something that lies just right beyond where your eyes and the light can reach. When did the blood-soaked longsword leave your body? Where did the crimson figure go? Is there something behind you? Behind the white bird? Turning around, there's nothing but pitch darkness. Oh no, what's happening? It's a dream within a dream. Told you this is Inception. All the years of waking up, naturally, with your biological clock, have made an alarm clock a dispensable item to you. As you sit up and rub your temple, the blanket takes the course of gravity and falls off. Wait, a blanket? When you open your eyes, it hits you that instead of a pea pod, you're now in a cozy room. Liv? The room is minimally decorated, and Liv is nowhere to be seen. Taking not even a single moment to survey the room or think about how you got here in the first place, you open the door and start looking for Liv.
Hey, good morning. Did you have some quality rest?
A woman you've never seen before stands in the hallway with a wooden tray. Initially caught by surprise, she quickly regains her gentle smile. Your hunch is that she doesn't intend to hurt you, and hunches are often the most reliable in mind. Hi, what's your name?
Call me Cinderella. What? Call me Cinderella.
I was with a friend just now. Does she happen to be here too?
The young lady, right? She's in the room right across.
Cinderella knocks on the door but receives no response.
Liv, are you in there?
Cinderella knocks on the door harder still but gets no response.
Oh, is she the type that struggles to wake up?
Seeing you shake your head, Cinderella hesitates for a moment before she opens the door. The setup of the room is basically the same as the other you woke up in. Liv lies in the bed with her back facing you, apparently still asleep. The music got real loud all of a sudden. Liv is in the bed with her back facing you, still asleep. You can't see her face, but you can just tell from the groan that she's in pain. Liv! You're no stranger to what's happening. This is a symptom of Liv's migraine. Out of habit, you want to take out your connecting cable for deep mind connection, but it hits you that you're already in Liv's mind. Setting her tray on the table, Cinderella dashes up to Liv's bed. She holds Liv's face with her hands as she presses her head against Liv's, all while mumbling something unintelligible. And with it, a faint fluorescence envelops them. As a faint fluorescence envelops them, Liv's face softens. A few moments later, Cinderella puts Liv's head back on the pillow ever so gently.
She's fine now.
Cinderella stands up, looking slightly out of it. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I was just a bit out of it.
Cinderella quickly regains her composure. Then you see Liv slowly sit up.
Oh, Shiki-kun, who's this?
Feel free to call me Cinderella, Liv.
Cinderella is now looking at you and Liv with her gentle eyes. Eyes that now seem even more loving than they did before. You quickly fill Liv in on what happened just now.
Thank you so much, Miss Cinderella.
Don't mention it. And feel free to just call me Cinderella.
Of course.
With a gentle, accepting smile, Cinderella turns this way.
Here, you're both now safe, and I bet you must be hungry. How about a bowl of bean soup?
Pointing at the tray sitting on the table. Bean soup. He seems to be waiting for a favorable response. The steaming, creamy green soup has diced onion, carrots, and round peas floating on the surface. Oh, like a split pea soup. I'm assuming maybe. Here's a weird fact about me. I'm kind of allergic to peas. Not really allergic, but they don't agree with me. It's not like eggs. When I say I'm allergic to eggs, sometimes I think that would be a more severe allergy. Peas, I'm just slightly it just doesn't work with my body very clearly. The fresh veggies and the aroma of butter make for a temptation impossible to resist. Now I'm getting hungry. No, I'm actually not.
Oh, right. You probably still have trouble eating on your own, right? Let me feed you then.
And with it, she approaches you with the bowl and spoon. She's still gentle and all, but it doesn't seem like she's gonna take no for an answer. Some of what's going on, she just wants you to fed, because she thinks you need to be. I think I can do it myself.
Same here.
Each with a wooden spoon. You and Liv scoop up the soup and move it up your mouth. With its aroma filling the air now, you can now smell the diced onions and black pepper in it. Shoving the spoon into your mouth, you're instantly hit with a creamy explosion that takes place across your taste buds. The freshness of the veggies is the first to hit, followed by the rich and fresh taste of butter that helps the onions stand out. The hot soup makes its way down your food pipe with the black pepper in it, warming up your body through and through. Much to your surprise, the soup comes with a minty taste too.
Pretty good, right?
Propping her face with both hands, Cinderella looks awash in happiness. When you finish the soup, it finally hits you that you've been starving from consuming nothing at all for the entire day. Having been warmed up, your tummy is now protesting for more. I think I can actually use more of. Little sussy, yes. The satisfied sigh coming from beside you cuts short. You look away. It seems as though Liv has the same thought as you. Could you give us each one more serving?
Oh, of course. You can have as many as you please.
Cinderella refills both your bowls with the bean soup.
Glad to see you both enjoy the soup. I picked these veggies early in the morning, and that's when I found both of you. Oh yeah, and the soup has the pea pods you stayed in yesterday. How do you—
Wait, what? What? You stopped dead in your tracks. Seeing you both you and Liv freeze, Cinderella covers her mouth, trembling from laughing, as her laughter comes out through her fingers.
Oh, my bad. You're both so cute, I just couldn't help but wanted to see you shop. Don't worry about the pea pods though. They're safe and sound in my backyard. Do you see the peas in the soup? They seem about the right size, right?
Rubbing the tears away from the corner of her eyes, Cinderella regains her composure.
Apologies. It's been such a long time since I last met anyone. Welcome to Wonderland.
Wonderland? When you finish the fourth bowl, Cinderella, seemingly overly excited, once again stirs the apparently bottomless soup pot with her ladle.
Want some more?
I think I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely positive. Feeling fuller than ever, you say to her in your most appreciative tone.
And you, Liv?
No, thank you so much, but I think I'm okay too.
Having gone through just as many bowls as you, Liv waves her hand in a panic as she expresses her appreciation apologetically. Nodding with a somewhat disappointed face, she hits the... Oh, hold on. Ugh. She hits the pot with her ladle, and with it, the soup inside goes poof! Magic! Sorcery!
I'm gonna start cleaning up then.
Please, let us. This makes for a good chance to speak privately with Liv.
But you are my guest. I can't just...
But Liv has already put the tableware away and is picking the tray up.
No, I mean, sis, this is the least we can do.
Relenting with a smile on her face, Cinderella says adoringly,
Alright, then. Let me get you guys some tea and snacks. There's a river in the back for you to do the dishes. Watch out, though.
Ooh. As you watch carefully your own steps to avoid another nasty fall. So what do you think, Liv?
I have the same take as you, Commandant. She's unique, but I don't think she's the mind shard we're looking for.
But she seems to know a lot of things.
And she's such a friendly soul. I think we might just be able to learn about this place from her.
Let's talk to her in a bit.
Oh, by the way, are you over here, Commandant?
Wait, I thought you were here.
Guess we'll just have to wait for the bubbles to go away then.
I know, and I've lost count of how many times we missed each other. Looking at all the colorful bubbles, you feel completely lost in the kaleidoscopic views around you. It's all fantasy. Out in the back, you see a shallow stream that seems knee-high at best. The stream seems harmless enough, but you're never going to forget what happens when you put the tableware into it. Boy, was it a real sight. Instead of splashes of water, the river spits up bubbles in an amount that shrouds you completely. You couldn't see anything, and, feeling the ground slippery, you try taking a step forward. Oh crap! You fall into the water with a thud, sending bubbles flying up in each and every way. Liv wastes no time jumping in and starts looking for you, but neither of you can tell where the other person is with all the bubbles around. There are several times when you sense Liv right around you, only to realize that it's all wishful thinking when you reach your hand out.
Oh, Commandant, are you still there?
Yeah, let's just stay where we are for now. You say as you look at all the bubbles that are now slowly disappearing. Then you hear a sigh.
Oh, let's just keep talking. It makes me a little nervous if we don't.
Sure, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm curious about why you decided to go to FOS college. It's a common choice among people from Babylonia, but it's never the only choice.
I did it for Earth. I don't know why I did it. See, I didn't actually make that choice, but I have to choose a response. I did it to pursue a dream.
Oh, a dream, huh? That's exactly what I had in mind when I asked to be relocated.
What did you say? You can barely hear Liv over all the bubbles.
Oh, it's nothing.
But I'm never gonna give up. Because I have a dream, and I'm gonna make it come true.
Oh, a dream, eh?
Yep, although my instructor would always tell me to stop daydreaming. Embarrassed, you scratch your head.
But that's something you've always been holding on to, right?
It's only because I haven't made it come true, though.
Hey, what exactly?
A few moments of silence later, Liv's voice grows hurried, and right then, a gust of wind disperses all the bubbles.
My bad. I actually meant to ask you to keep an eye out for these bubbles when I said watch out back there.
Oh, Hazukashi.
Oops, am I being intrusive?
Yeah, you are, Cinderella asks, as she looks at Liv and you.
Right, why don't I bring the bubbles back for you guys then?
I think we're fine. We just so happen to have some questions for you, actually.
Here, I've got some tea for you, so how can I help?
With your clothes dry, you're back in the room from earlier. Right. Whatever the cost, you need to make it through all that stands in your way now. We want to go to the spire in the middle of the forest.
The spire in the middle of the forest, you said?
Cinderella sounds shocked. Looking back and forth between you and Liv, Cinderella finally returns her gaze. Returns her gaze to you with wide eyes and an open mouth.
What's the matter?
Oh, well, I was just trying to have something worked out in my head. See, I thought you came from the spire, but I see that's where you're going now. You're from the outside forest, aren't you?
What makes you think so?
Because the spire is off limits to everything living in the forest. Some animals wander off into the spire every now and then, and that would be the last anyone sees of them. Which is why everyone and everything living here knows better than to get close to the spire.
Oh, yes, they're indeed from outside the forest, as you said.
What's the world like outside the forest, though?
Cinderella's dripping with curiosity.
Well...
Liv seems to be measuring her words. There really is no easy way to tell Cinderella that they came from the real world, and that she herself is but a projection inside Liv's mind shard. And there's no telling what's gonna happen if Liv tells her all that.
Must have been a heck of a world for you to put it in simple words, yeah?
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm sure it's something you'd rather not tell me to keep my sanity. Come on. I can just tell. Your face has said it all. Although I'd really love to get to know your world too.
Stroking her teacup, Cinderella quickly regains her smile. So that's pretty perceptive of her.
So, the spire, right? You were camping out there in the forest last night because you've been traveling through the forest during the day, right?
Yes, and there were things that stood in our way.
Stammering, Liv is reminded of the line of sheep that ran the length of the horizon.
And we have no idea where we are now. Did you happen to know how to get to the spire?
Unfortunately, I don't. Well, I guess I should say that there doesn't exist a single path that can take you there.
Oh, is it because there are places in between? You just can't get across?
No, it's not that. Here, let me show you something.
Cinderella stands up and proceeds to open the window.
You'll see why.
Beyond the window, you see the crowns of the trees in the forest. Cinderella seems to be... Yawning. Cinderella seems to be living up on a hill. The spire, however, is nowhere to be seen.
It's about to start.
Following Cinderella's finger, you and Liv look outside the window at where she's pointing.
Oh, are they moving?
Slowly but surely, the forest is moving in a random fashion, and so too is the ground in which they're rooted. It's like a maze.
Oh, I didn't even know this was happening.
To those living in the forest, the very ground you stand on isn't what changes, but your location. See, our location is changing as we speak.
Sitting back down, Cinderella says slowly,
Which is why it's impossible for you to get to the spire.
Oh no.
But you aren't just gonna give up, right?
Yes, it's because we can't.
And I don't suppose you're gonna tell me why, yeah? Hey, what's with the long face? I'm sure the forest brought you both to me for a reason. Who knows, right? Now, since you're trying to help me get to the spire, let me tell you about how it came about, and what it used to be.
Unable to find her way back, she's lost in the sea of trees. Or deep down inside, maybe she doesn't want to go back. Little girl,
Here am I.
lost and looking around, she can see a tower with a pointed tip standing in the distance, on this land she's never set foot on. Upon reaching the tower, she gives the wooden door a gentle knock. I don't recognize you, kid. How can I help you? I don't recognize you, kid. How can I help you? The door creaks open, but the voice that's speaking to her comes from behind her.
I'm just lost. Who are you?
Me? I'm the master of the spire. A fairy.
I'm a master of this.
Just use the lip voice.
Me? I'm the master of the spire. Fairy that can make all your dreams come true. Dreams?
Okay, this... I need something lower to contrast.
Dreams?
Ah, yes. Dreams are wonderful, and people can't lavish enough praise on them. Now, let me take you home.
Wait!
Oh, I see. You don't want to go home just yet.
The fairy turns around and with a gentle look waits patiently for the girl to say her next word.
I want a lot of friends. My sister and brother just wouldn't hang out with me. Can you make that come true?
Like a deflating balloon, the little girl quickly loses the confidence she's just worked up.
Ah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But are you ready to pay for it?
Ooh.
Pay? With what?
She sounds a little scared.
With.
When the fairy reaches her hand this way, the girl shuts her eyes nervously. Ah! The fairy puts her hand on the girl's head. Then, with a few strokes, the fairy straightens the girl's hair, which was a complete mess from her traveling across the forest.
With that.
The fairy sounds pleased.
That's it?
Without answering the girl's question, the fairy produces a colorful scepter. She gives it a little tap in the air with a mumble. Bibbidi
Bippity boppity boo.
No copyright strike. Swoosh, a flash of light swishes past, but she can't tell if anything actually happened.
Try clapping 3 times.
1, 2, 3, oh. Are you? Oh dear.
Surrounded by a bunch of chipmunks, the girl shrieks in surprise. So it's kind of related to Liv.
How do you like these adorable furballs? Oh right, I wanted to give you something else too.
With another tap of the fairy scepter on the ground, a pumpkin carriage grows out of the soil. Ooh. It's like Cinderella, like a fairy godmothers from Cinderella, like the Disney Cinderella with the chipmunks, and I don't actually know how the older one from ancient fairy tale is. It's oftentimes quite different from the Disney versions.
Take this home so you won't get lost. Becoming friends with the fairy. The girl keeps making wishes for the fairy to make happen in the forest. Floating jellyfish that drives the darkness away. Sheep you can never finish counting when you can't fall asleep. And peas so big that a single one can make you full. As time goes by, the little girl grows up. Something happens down the road that leaves her with no choice but to leave her home.
Oh, we're back again. She's older now.
Oh, it's been such a long time. How have you been?
Something happened and I have to leave.
The fairy slowly opens her mouth to speak.
The world out there is one far beyond my reach. And you won't be able to leave with anything from the forest. Are you sure about this?
Yes, I am.
Looking into the girl's eyes and seeing her determination, the fairy sees that there is no point in trying to make the girl stay.
Just remember to drop by sometime.
With the heavy locks lifted, the door of the shelter opens up, allowing the girl to exit on her own.
With the reality standing in her way, she's been looking away and giving up on her dreams only too many times. Because dreams are for the childish, and all she can do is steal glances at them every now and then.
I don't get that. Sleepy too. And I was hoping this would be a short story. We're an hour and a half in already. Sleepy. Guess I had a pretty bad day.
What the girl never knows though is that her dreams are all kept safe and sound by the fairy.
So she's referring to Liv, right?
Until that fateful day, the ground starts spitting out scarlet flames, tearing the world into pieces. Oh, hey, look at you, all grown up.
She says nostalgically.
Sorry. No.
Oh, no, don't say that. I'm very happy to see you again. What's your wish this time?
The girl says her wish, to which the fairy falls into what seems like an eternity of silence.
I guess that means a no.
It's a little difficult for me, but are you ready to pay for it?
With your freedom, you'd be trapped in...
With your freedom, you'd be trapped in a cage where you can't see the light of day.
The girl nods.
You have absolutely nothing by your side save for pain.
The girl nods. This is like now I figure out. This is like Liv's choice. This is not her childhood. Maybe the backdrop is her childhood, but the Cinderella story is kind of what she did when she decided to take on the Imperial frame. So, you know, her mind is corrupted and she'll constantly be in, you know, suffering. Like a kind of like a mental pain. And kind of, I think it reflects her choice. Girl nods.
And you'll be eaten away until you're polluted all over and burned to ashes with the forest.
A few moments of silence later, girl nods as she looks at the fairy's apologetic eyes. Liv's kind of maybe locked away these memories so that she's not affected by it.
What should I do?
Girl doesn't change her mind. The last dream, a pair of wings that can take her through the skies. Wings that are meant to eventually crash and burn. Giving in to the girl's request, Cinderella casts on her an old but familiar spell. With a shower of green light, the girl transforms into a butterfly with vibrant colors. Her wings are thin and appear almost feeble, but against the evil crimson, they stand strong. And it turns out Cinderella was the fairy too. Against the sea of the corrupted, the white bird flies alongside humanity as it guides them forward, and the black butterfly keeps the evil behind the humans where they can't see it. The black butterfly keeps the evil behind the humans where they can't see it. I don't really get that. None of the miracles is a coincidence. She put her bargaining chips on the table even before it all began. At last, she falls through the sky along with the red figures and crashes into the spire, which has now become a cage from which they can't escape. Before the door to the spire closes, the fairy asks,
Do you have any other wishes?
Liv?
Oh, and thank you for everything, Cinderella.
It's only with their inevitable goodbye so imminent now that Cinderella now has what it takes to bid Liv farewell.
I see. Goodbye then.
I wonder if Liv's gonna get lost in her mind then.
After that, I let all your dreams out and came up with this forest of them.
Cinderella holds up her teacup and patiently waits for you and Liv to digest everything you just heard. With everything Cinderella just said, you finally figure out how this mind shard came into being. It's not a piece of item that carries Liv's imagination, nor is it something that holds her memory. Everything you've seen along the way, so out of the realm of reality, yet all came with a tinge of the real world.
Oh, all these are the dreams I used to have.
Yes. Everything here came from you. Some of these wishes you made when you were reading fairy tales. And there's one you made up thinking about the sheep in the garden at night when everyone else was sleeping. And this other one too.
Apparently, remembering something funny, Cinderella puts on a gentle laugh.
You made this other wish when you were scared soulless alone under the blanket. With the hope that the monster that eats up kids that don't go to bed would be a little more adorable. You never wanted to see it though, and you wouldn't believe how sad that made you feel.
Cinderella returns her gentle gaze to Liv.
These are all the dreams you forgot. I remembered everything the moment I saw you. Thought you broke free of your confinement from the spire and were on the way to leave the forest. But now I see that's where you're headed. You're not the caged butterfly, Liv, but the white bird that soars with its wings. I'd very much love to help you however I can, like I did before. But I wanted to hear you out because I'm as much a part of this dream as everything else is here.
Actually,
You outgrew your dreams. Is that what you were going to say?
Apparently, seeing right through Liv, Cinderella cuts her off, shaking her head. She carries on.
But what about the dreams you had? If you'd outgrown them, why are you still holding on to those dreams? Do you still think those dreams are only for the childish? Are you still gonna give up on them and forget the same way you did? Is it how you like to keep growing as a person?
Said in a calm yet firm tone, Cinderella's questions don't sound intimidating in the slightest. They're, if anything, reassuring.
Oh. Yes, these dreams are childish. I'd even call them far-fetched and unrealistic.
Apparently unaware of what she's doing, Liv touches her wings with the faint scars. The very wings that, whilst unable to take her through the skies, shine through all the same in the dark.
But they're worth pursuing so long as we still long for them.
Knowing what you do, are you still gonna try to make them come true?
That's something I work toward. It matters more that a dream is made true than when it's made true.
That what? It matters more that a dream is made true than when it's made true.
My dreams might be childish, and they were probably just what I came up with on a whim. But I can take my time to make them come true, because they have, always will be a part of me.
So you want to take your time, huh? It sounds like an excuse to me, though.
Says Cinderella with a smile that's ever so gentle on her face. Liv shakes her head.
Yeah, we're still pursuing them precisely because we haven't made them come true. We're keeping it in the future precisely because we don't want to run away from it anymore. We see it as a luxury. People never get lost going after seemingly far-fetched dreams. Because these dreams are like beacons on the shore, or the stars in the skies. They guide you along the way.
Liv looks at you before she looks firmly into Cinderella's blue eyes.
A person can't possibly grow by throwing away what they have, forgetting who they are. Holding on to what you have, and never letting go is the only thing that will help you move forward.
I see there's nothing more I need to worry about.
Looking away from Liv, Cinderella turns to look at you with her gentle yet shrewd blue eyes.
Are you willing to save her then?
That's why I came in the first place.
Even if that means putting yourself in harm's way?
Of course.
Even if that means putting yourself in harm's way is something Liv never wants to see?
Oh. You exchange a look with Liv. There are worries and fear in her eyes, but you see no objection whatsoever. We never want to see each other put in harm's way. And taking the risk ourselves is probably the only choice that will ever make us feel okay. But it's never my job to protect her, or the other way around. We have each other's back, and it's only when we have each other's back that we'll be able to travel far down the path together. Alone we might struggle, but together we are strong. Which is why if one of us ever falls, we should respect their choice all the same, and soldier on with a torch in hand.
Very well. I'm trusting you with her then.
Cinderella stands up and proceeds to open the door.
Follow me. I'll show you how to get to the spire.
Parked around the edge of the forest is an enormous pumpkin. Enormous pumpkin carriage, with its decorations discolored, cobwebs dangling off its rusty wheels, bearings broken, and its horses gone. It doesn't seem like it still works, though.
This is what's going to take you to the spire. This pumpkin carriage will take you there even without a route.
But it doesn't seem like it's ever gonna run again.
All you need is a little magic sometimes.
With a wink, Cinderella looks impish for the first time. She picks up her now dusty scepter from beside the wheel.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
With her spell, a rainbow shrouds the carriage. Crystals and glasses are glistening again, the rust removed, the cracks are patched, and the silver paintwork is gleaming in the sun. Then, hear a gallop coming from the woods. Meh! A sheep. But it isn't white horses that show up, but a bunch of equally white but fluffy sheep.
Oops, I never said this carriage would be drawn by horses, did I?
With the sheep saddled, the carriage's door opens to reveal its magnificent interior. Cinderella passes her scepter to Liv.
Wait, what?
see is at the bottom of the spire, and that's where your friend needs to go. You, Liv, need to go to the tip where the monster's kept locked up. And given that you run away from it once...
Cinderella turns around to look at you as she speaks in a serious tone.
I'm sure it'll do everything in its power to help to get to you. Someone needs to destroy it before it destroys the spire. Which is why, Liv, you need this scepter more than I do. And see, I won't be needing it anymore.
Cinderella puts on a sad smile.
Thanks again.
Cinderella carries on speaking as she helps Liv get inside the carriage.
This place is made of dreams, and my power doesn't go beyond the forest.
Holding out her hand, Cinderella helps you get inside the carriage too.
But you now have what it takes to press forward with your dreams and walk out of this shelter. Not to mention that you have someone right next to you who's willing to go through it with you too.
Closing the door, Cinderella takes a step back. Meh. Bit by bit, Cinderella grows distant as the carriage pulls away. She knows this is her last farewell as the carriage makes its way into the distance. Sorry. This is so long, this story. She thought she was ready for this day when she first saw Liv at the spire. She thought she'd be able to play it cool when the day finally came. She thought she'd feel happy for Liv, for not having to count on her anymore. And she thought Liv would be able to stay around just a little longer.
Liv.
Through the window, you can see Cinderella waving at you, and Liv with a pained look on her face.
Don't ever stop chasing your dream, and fear all the good things the world has to offer, just because reality chooses to rough you up.
Read that again. Don't ever stop chasing your dream and fear all the good things the world has to offer, just because reality chooses to rough you up. With the sunlight shining through the haze, she bids the fearless fledgling bird with her last word of advice.
So long as your memory still exists, so too will the magic with which you can make your dreams come true.
I feel like it's quite dialogue heavy. I guess I'm kind of following along. I think I'm not sharp enough to pick up on all the details anymore. This is definitely around Liv. It's a combination of her childhood memories as well as, her dreams, what she sacrificed to, kind of take on the frame. But I don't know how this ties into her Imperial frame. Maybe we'll find out later. But since we just finished here, I think it's a good time to run the break now, and then we'll do the last one. Hopefully this doesn't last more than an hour, because, I say Liv is not too bad, but it's still bad. It's not like the other day when we did the Kamiyama High Festival. With the 5 guys, it's much easier than doing Liv voice for, 3 hours. Okay, but let me take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and we'll finish the story. Thank you, everyone. Alright, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Let's continue. Hopefully we can get it done soon. This is a pretty long story. Oh, so beautiful. I really want this coating. He flies around too. Oh my god. But Okaneganai. Alright, let's go. Dry moss rolls over the otherwise stony ground and the trees. Let me double check everything. Okay. And the trees part to either side to reveal a straight path ahead. As the river stops flowing, the ripples carry the pumpkin carriage ever so gently to the other side of the riverbank. The mountains come together without leaving so much as a crack. The place now looks nothing like what it was when you just arrived. Chipmunks coming out of nowhere flank the carriage, while the bugs and birds sing together for the procession. You see the long line of sheep at the very end of the horizon, still hopping over the saddle. They don't seem like they want to move out of the way. Shark Spear!
Ah, you're the bad kids that make it impossible for people to sleep.
Popping out from behind the pumpkin carriage, a shark plushie charges straight at the sheep. Seeing the shark plushie, the sheep lose it and start running all over the place for dear life, clearing the path ahead. Everything in the forest is trying to help in its own way. You arrive at the spire before you know it. Okay, let me grab a jacket real quick. It's kind of cold. Crimson vines stretch the length of the age-worn spire. Oh, cold. Standing in the shades, the sun can never reach. The spire is redolent of an ominous wooden nail driven deep into the blood-red ground. When seen from a different angle, however, it seems like the hand of someone that's reaching out from the depths of a mud puddle, yearning for salvation. The dusty door creaks as Liv and you push it open. In the air lit up by the faint light that comes in through the door, the dust seems to be greeting you as it tries to tell you just how long forgotten this place is. The spiral staircase stretches toward different ends, upward until it seems to become one with the spire itself, and downward until it reaches well into the depths of darkness.
I'll do everything in my power to stop the monster Cinderella spoke of from hurting you, Commandant.
Liv turns around and says as she makes her way up the staircase with red thorns all over it, "And I will go and save your trapped dreams." You speak in response to Liv as you take a step forward down the stone staircase that stretches into the darkness underground. You both know exactly what you came here to do. Let me find my controller. It's probably going to be combat soon, but not yet. Liv makes her way up the stairs, succumbing to the darkness that robs her of her sense of direction and monotonous footsteps that blur her sense of time. In a trance, she seems to hear people whispering. It's a conversation she has with Hippocrates when she wakes up.
Professor, I have some questions.
My voice is gone.
Professor.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me drink some water. It almost feels like it's fine, but once I take a break, then it's gone. And then I come back and it's
Oh, Professor, I have some questions for you.
Yes?
It's about deep mind connection. I just wanted to know if it ever affected Commandant in a negative way.
If you're trying to find out if it's gonna cause your Commandant migraines or death mirages, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt that it won't. See, the deep mind connection doesn't distribute your migraines. What it does is it stabilizes your mind through the mind beacon's deep connection. Let's say you have a ship floating out at sea. When the ship shakes to winds or waves, you end up with a mess inside, right? But the ship won't shake the winds or the waves if you have an anchor. It won't shake to the winds and waves if you have an anchor. It's true that deep mind connection won't cause any damage, but I still want you to know that in the process of improving it, We'll need your commandant to dive into your mind many times to collect data, during which all the migraines and death mirages experienced will inflict real damage. Like what happened last time.
Oh no!
So, are we gonna call it quits?
Her face is all hidden all of a sudden.
Or it's too late to, that is.
You press forward, all the while keeping your eyes straight ahead. The air around you grows colder still, the further down you walk. The sunlight out there can never reach this part of the spire. Even with a torchlight in hand, you can still barely see the path as you make your way down the broken stone staircase. Right then, you see a light coming through a crack in the bricks up ahead. Am I here already? When you go up for a closer look, however, all you see is the faint figure of a person from behind. Move closer. With a closer look, you can now see very clearly. The person is wearing a school uniform, the logo on which you can't be more familiar with. It's the logo of FOS. With the realization, the light suddenly becomes so intense that it robs you of consciousness. It's the instructor, which, looks like Han suspiciously. What was it that you were going to do again? Standing in the instructor office in FOS, you see an old man sitting in front of you with a straight face. I'm not going to stick my nose into your business, but I need to know your reasoning behind your decision as an instructor. Right. This is about what I'm going to do after graduating. Why did you turn down Command Central's invitation and apply to be a frontline commandant at the task force? The shrewd eyes staring right at you now are the same eyes that have been watching every single student since you entered the school. You sense neither encouragement nor discontent from his tone, but solemnness and gravity. There's no doubt that those eyes will see right through any petty lies and excuses you come up with. Because I want to become part of the hope to pull this world back from the brink of despair. This was your answer then. Back then, a list of big names popped into your mind. You knew those names by heart, but it wasn't so much that you could write their names down on the tests, because they were people you deeply admired. The words people praise these big names with had such nice rings to them, back when you still didn't know how the big names got to where they were. Now, though, the big names, alive and active as they were, are now nothing more than strings of letters inscribed on monuments. Earth is still a mess, and most of the early accomplishments have been destroyed overnight. Can you still confidently say what you did back then? After knowing the truth, that is.
Did Commandant know about this?
Of course, and the commandant still signed the paper right away.
So, the construct's mind is the ship as the Commandant mind beacon is the anchor, right? The anchor can help the ship make it through the storm, so too can the ship sail forth with the anchor. Commandant said that the risk and concern should never bog us down. We didn't come together so we can huddle up in fear, but so we can go even further. I'm happy to have someone by my side who's willing to help me unconditionally.
Looking up, Liv now has a much clearer view of what's in front of her. Scarlet crystal clusters, crimson tide water, and blood-red soil, all of which come together to fill the air with tension. It hit her only just now that she'd arrived at where she set out to come, with the crimson plants lying quietly in hunger behind her. Not so far away, a blood-red figure stands surrounded by monsters that seem to have made their way out of someone's worst nightmares. The nightmare reflection.
Why?
I don't know how to do a nightmare reflection voice.
Why?
Because I wanted to become part of the hope, so I can pull this world back from the brink of despair. Saying nothing, the old man before you seems to be waiting for you to explain yourself. I understand that none of the miracles happened as easily as they seemed to. Every step along the way was trial and error in the dark. A single wrong step sent some of them down an abyss from which they never returned, leaving their successors with nothing but the knowledge that whatever they did didn't work. And they even fought sometimes and went separate ways. But even then, the wise strained their wisdom down to the very last strand of their beings. Some of them even ended up having their souls and dignity burned out. The assiduous worked day and night To fight for a place, to persist in a place that was anything but favorable. The brave soldiered on in the face of failure. To build a line of defense with their very own blood and flesh. All these flash past you like a stream. These people who are just like you, are the reason you can speak as unwaveringly as you do now. If anything, reality has made your dreams stronger and more lucid than ever. Are you trying to say you're one of the brave? I hope you're aware this is no place for you to discuss a bedtime story. Has it ever crossed your mind that the potential might have an easier time shining through if you work in a different position? The instructors, I believe, are the ones that made me believe I'm one of the brave. Graduating summa cum laude makes it easier for me to make it straight to the field command, but FOS was established in the first place to train commandants. I have no idea what that means. Probably like with honors or something. No, I never graduated. We came up with this choice for you precisely because we recognize your commanding talent. Most of you sitting here today will eventually be mere numbers on battle reports down the road. And if you don't experience what they do, you'll never be able to understand the meaning the numbers hold. And we didn't come together to make everyone suffer for the mistakes we made as a group. This is what you said on day 1, instructor. I've been keeping these words close to my heart. Huh. Do you know the average life expectancy of a commandant? I'll keep rolling until I get my pension. You need to understand that there's no going back. I think I can tell you very clearly now that I never regretted choosing this path. You can show yourself the door now. His tone is as rock hard as ever. Old but powerful, a pair of hands gives you a light push from behind. You've reached the end of the road. Right behind you, debris falls off the broken staircase, finally making the sound of landing on the ground, after what seems like an eternity. Through the crack in the bricks, you seem to see her. Liv, I promise to save you.
Because I promised to keep Commandant safe.
And I'm here making my promise count.
And here I am making my promise count.
Oh, here we go, battle. Oh, boot my controller up. Let's hope it's working. I've actually done this one time already. So cool. I want the skin. Ouch. I hate these rolly guys too. I want the black hole though. It just doesn't want to show up. I guess, you know, a lot of people were complaining about the flashbang. But honestly, I don't think it really bothers me that much. I don't know if they improved it or anything. Oh no! I'm stunned. Knocked down. Can't dodge out of it either. Can't do anything. Can't move. The corruption has evoked the pain to pierce the depths of the heart. Isn't Mandarin? It's so off-putting. I remember this too. Oh well. Ultimate! Oh, it's automatic. I was like, I don't have to double dodge. Oh, so good. Chipmunk, see? Oh my god, I want the skin. This is probably my thumbnail for tonight. It's been so long since anyone set foot in the cell down at the bottom of the spire, that even the dust in the air have grown stagnant. This Liv looks different again too. Closing her eyes, the shard of soul sits quietly in the ruins. With her wings torn into pieces, she's no longer able to fly. Everything about her in the place is stagnant, so much so that even her heartbeat is barely palpable. She's been left alone in the corner of her memory, and seemed destined to remain so for the rest of eternity. Things, however, seem a little different today. In her head, she doesn't see the same endless nightmares anymore, but a young student speaking with an old instructor. I don't really get what's going on still. What are they talking about, and why does she find it all strangely familiar? Slowly, she's drawn toward it ever so slowly, all while taking care not to destroy this rare sight of an illusion. With a pair of determined and sincere eyes, the young student stands unfazed. That alone is already enough to make her feel safe. Bang, bang, bang. That does sound like a heartbeat. That doesn't sound like a heartbeat. With the bangs, the illusion vanishes. Someone is trying to break this cage from the outside, sending a rainfall of dust down from the rotten bricks up above. Bang.
Huh?
Hand holding. And the bricks now broken. Through the hole comes a hand with fresh scars. It's a very slow zoom. There's no way the light of day can ever make it down to this part of the spire, and the torch in his hand has stopped working. Even so, the two of them can still see each other clearly. This is my screenshot. With their similar lights that shine through their souls and even outshine the dark of the night. Words are spoken to her, but she can't hear them clearly. Shiki-Kan's hand's not very big because, Shiki-Han is technically player character, so, it could be male or female, be more inclusive. It does kind of bug me when community tries to push for male Shiki-Kan. I don't like it. Words are spoken to her, but she can't hear them clearly. Sometimes the heart needs no language to communicate. As their hands touch, the cold cell disappears in the blink of an eye. She's deep in a warm embrace. Everything around her seems to be crumbling, and with it, she feels as though she's falling down at the same time she's floating up through the air. The nightmare is over. Falling no more, you now feel what feels like the world's softest mattress against your back. You thought it was a safety trigger that pulled you out of the forest into the mind-diving chamber in the lab. The floral aroma lingering by, however, seems to be telling you that you could be wrong. You open your eyes and slowly rise to your feet, all the while unable to look away from the petals in the wind that guide your attention in a certain direction. Standing next to you, a dark green figure looks at you gently. Did you get rid of the contamination too?
Yes, thank you, Commandant.
Why didn't you wake me up?
This place is safe, and I figured you needed some rest. And...
Putting a hand on her chest, Liv seems to be listening to what her heart wills. She doesn't finish her sentence, but the dancing petals all around her seem to betray her mind. And finally, deciding that she's gonna shun no more, she looks up and sees straight into your eyes.
The flowers, the trees, and the sun. All these are beautiful and put my mind at ease.
Yes, I know that.
None of these is gonna last forever. Probably wake us up in no time.
True.
But I really just...
With a wishful smile on her face, her voice cracks a little.
I really just want to be here with you for a little longer, Shiki-Kan. So I wouldn't have to see you keep fighting and end up hurting yourself all over. I don't want to say goodbye to you again. I feel safe feeling your warmth and heartbeat. Hatsukashi!
Liv.
I know this is an illusion, and I also know that this is the kind of future I'll always be pursuing going forward.
Okay, now I lied. This is gonna be my screenshot. Just get nicer and nicer. What's going on? Let me pause here for like 10 seconds so I can find it easier. What time is it? 2:16. Okay, I'll try to remember. Liv bares her soul and pours her heart out. You, however, can't tell if it's the doing of the mind shard, or if she's only finding it easier to do so, since you're in her subconscious mind. With the petals swirling up to the breeze, the girl raises a question.
So, how do you like the views here, Commandant?
Very much. Hearing your words and breaking into a smile, she carries on.
Care to elaborate?
I like how quiet it is here. The cozy sunlight filters through the swaying treetops and shines upon the dancing dust. I have a question. I forgot, does the game on... Yes, the game is on... It's actually originally a mobile game. I know a lot of people play it on mobile. I used to play it on mobile until about maybe a full year ago, or maybe a little less than 2 years ago. I switched to playing on an emulator. But the reason I switched, not for the controls actually, it was actually just for health reasons, because my phone is bad for my hands. As for easy, it was really hard switching to controller, put it that way. There are still many things that are easier to do on a phone actually, because you do have to do the orbs, and it is always more intuitive to do the orbs on a touchscreen than it is with the controller. So I would say it's not an issue. It was built, from the ground up to be played on a phone. Yeah, if you like. I would say it's definitely not as high budget or polished as something like Honkai Star Rail, but there's a lot to like about it. Though at the same time right now, I am feeling the effects of the power creep over time. There's just so much power creep, and it's a little hard to keep up as a low spending monthly bundle player. Because on Genshin it's hard to do combos and stuff. Yeah, maybe. It is probably harder, but you can also connect a controller to your phone. It's actually a built-in option, I think. Like you can do it through Bluetooth, I think. So that's an option, but the touchscreen itself is actually ideal for the orbs. So it's not too bad. I definitely played exclusively on phone for a long time. The cozy sunlight filters through the swaying treetops and shines upon the dancing dust. The grass under you feels ever so soft as it lifts you up to preserve the tranquility in the air. Save for the bird cries that travel far and wide. There is not a single sound here. This place is exactly as Liv said, without gunshots or ear-splitting alarms. This place is so quiet that you can hear her heartbeat and breath. The breezes that come by every now and then are messengers with messages from afar. I can totally picture myself living here when I retire. You say as you give Liv a positive nod. Little did you know, however, that Liv would take your joke so seriously.
If that's what you're thinking, you can probably build a cottage where there isn't anything around. You have all these trees here at your disposal, but you still need to be careful with so the wood won't go bad. And you would of course need some electric generators here to make life easier.
Liv? Seeing her all excited about coming up with plans for your retirement, you aren't quite sure if you want to cut her off. And before you know it, Liv seems to have already finished planning your living room.
What would you like to have as a pet, Commandant?
While the question hits you as baffling, Liv seems to have a difficult time making up her mind.
Sheep are good, but chipmunks seem like a good choice too. Oh, I want to have some butterflies in the garden too, if that's okay. I'd love to go for a walk during sunset with you, Lucia and Lee. Just the four of us with the setting sun and all the butterflies around us.
Wow, I see you're way ahead of the game. Opening your mouth wanting to cut Liv off, you decide to hold them back, seeing her as happy as she is. You see no reason to cut off her dream when she's still moving forward.
And I want to try growing some veggies too.
You aren't just gonna grow everything yourself, are you? Half giving up, you decide to hop in. While the clock is fast ticking away on the sea of flowers, you know that the future you all dream of is quickly coming your way too. Oh, and we're out! You see the white light in the lab when you open your eyes, a sign that you're back in reality.
Oh, Shiki-kun.
Turning your head, you see Liv just a few meters away, who seems to have come to just a few moments before you.
Whimser's back. No sign of contamination. We're fixing mine and analyzing the interactive data over there. Are the data looking valid? Working on that now.
Asimov's hands swish a mile a second over the device before him as he speaks, sending all sorts of charts and codes flying across the screen. Yeah, I hate when people ask that question because the answer is no. You can no longer get 2B. 2B was only available once, and then they had one rerun. So 2B is gone forever. Same with 9S and in A2 as well. I mean, there is technically a possibility, but it has not happened on the CN servers. So I don't think, at first it would happen on the CN servers before it would come to global. And to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't happened yet. But I have actually, I haven't been keeping up with PGR news, so maybe there's been a CN rerun, a second rerun lately. But in general, the answer is no. Yeah, that sucks. Other than that, all the other characters are still available, except no exceptions, just Nier. Yeah. But PGR is it's pretty free to play friendly. At least from a collecting characters perspective. I mean, partially due to because how slow they release the characters. They release one S rank character every 2 patches. So S rank is like a 5-star character, and then they kind of release a 4-star character every other patch. So, but that usually takes one patch is usually about 5 to 6 weeks. So only one 5-star comes out every 11 to 12 weeks. But with the free to play budget, if you do your dailies and weeklies, you will have enough to get every single S rank that's ever released from the moment you start playing. So you won't be able to back buy everything outside of saving with events and for one-time things. But anything that comes out now, you will be able to afford it. Yeah, it's like every 2 months, so it's compared to Honkai, it's much slower. That's why it's in that sense, it's very free to play friendly. But I can see for high spending gacha players, they can definitely get bored of it. I think high spending gacha players, they just throw money at it, throw $1,000 and then they want to come back in a few weeks and throw another $1,000. They don't want to wait 2 months with nothing new released. yeah, Project Zakai is the worst. But at the same time, you can always do the rhythm portion without it, which is the only reason why I'm still playing it. Yeah, if it was anything else, I would. But yeah, PGR is kind of the combat. Some people love it for the combat. Some people love it for the story. Some people love it for the gacha. The art style is also definitely very nice. Very different from, say, Honkai and Genshin, I think. Yeah, but the story is pretty great. I would say definitely better than Honkai's story. It's a little depressing though, so if you're not into that, then maybe it's not great. Also, people do say the first anywhere from the first 8 to the first 10, 11-ish chapters aren't that great. Really picks up in chapter 12 and it gets a lot better then. But 1 to 8 is actually pretty good already. It's just not as great as the other stuff. All right, let's continue. We're almost done, I think. You can see a progress bar making progress on the screen. While strings of data are collected, multiple analysis reports pop up. While the progress bar finally reaches the end, a window pops up. Okay, before I continue, I do want to say that I'm not sure how I feel about PGR anymore. So before you go download or anything, just in case that's gonna affect your decision. At least it goes for streaming. Like today's, I did Cinderburn's story. And I'm doing this story now, but I definitely am, paying attention to analytics, and I'm definitely working on streaming as a career, and so I definitely keep an eye on channel growth. And because of that, I'm thinking of streaming PGR less. I'll just say that. Ignoring the overly lengthy report itself, you train your eyes straight at the short line at the very bottom. Matching expectation.
The validity of the data went beyond our expectations. We can go ahead and get ready for the trial coming up next.
Which means...
Which means, until we're done improving DeepMind connection, you'll need to go through one simulation after another. And no, you won't be allowed to leave Babylonia no matter what.
Hippocrates shoots both you and Liv a threatening look when she finishes speaking. Wait, what? I don't know, they're running trials on us or something.
Got it?
See, also, did you see the drama? The creator of the store, the Senshu Lofu, messed up the store on purpose to see women mad about it. I don't know much. It's so confusing though. The Jinglu store, he wanted to mess with us, confusing us more. No, I didn't see anything story about that. I had no idea. I had no idea. What even happened in the story? To see women mad about it, it's so much confusing with the Jinglu. Yeah, I had no idea. I guess I didn't think too much of the story. I thought it was kind of basic compared to like I definitely appreciate Project Sekai and PGR stories a lot more.
Got it?
Well, I can only try.
Of course. You'll be able to move around normally after this, but remember to come back for regular checkups.
Right then, your terminal buzzes. Okay, I'm still lost. What's happening? I don't know. They say we can't leave Babylonia.
Lucia, finally!
He seems to be calling a little earlier than usual today.
Oh, is it Lucia?
Yep.
Oh, Professor.
It's all good. Both of you can leave now.
Well, we'll be able to see Lucia and Lee in person when this is over, right?
Yes, and I'm sure that day is coming soon. Dreams could be a heavy burden when you face reality. Stand up. You can feel something soft and gentle against you.
Let's go, Commandant.
All right. But don't ever fear all the good things the world has to offer, and throw your dreams away. As long as the light in your soul still shines through, you're bound to attract your kind through the long night. I was confused, to be honest, because of the 5, the deaths, the Mara thing, all that. All the trouble for that, yeah. I don't know, I had no idea there was some kind of controversy. Because when you no longer have to trek through the night alone, dreams will no longer be a heavy burden, with wings of hope. Yay, we're done! Oh, I was getting kind of tired. But yes, Liv story done. Okay, so the reason I did this one, I mentioned because this is, the normal story is there all the time. There are only a few exceptions, and it's these coding stories. So there's Dance of Riplets that has disappeared. The main story, I think EX0. I think EX0, not this one. EX0? I think EX00, yeah, was once upon a time unable to be completed if you didn't do it during the initial launch. But ever since then, everything else has been, you can always do it afterwards. And so there aren't any stories you can miss out, except this one. So I have to do this one because this one's going to be gone away until the rerun comes. So that's why I really wanted to finish it. Yeah, it's worth trying, and definitely people like it for the story, and definitely people like it for the combat. The combat and the art story. So, but I would say polish is much lower than Honkai Star Rail. Combat is way better. Story is way better, but the story presentation is also, visual novel style with no voiceovers. So, that can be a turn off for, people, because, Honkai Star has full voiceovers for all the stories. This is really nice. And they have, 3D cutscenes, as opposed to, like Project Sekai, which has, has voiceovers, but it's just, a live 2D visual novel style. PGR is all that, with even less live 2D. Combat's pretty exciting. It's very high skill cap if you're really into it. And it used to matter more, but now it still matters, but you kind of have to be a baseline whale to compete on the competitive side. But all the story content is easily done as a free-to-play player. All the events as well, getting the baseline rewards. So Babel Tower is closed now, so I can't show you. But Babel Tower, you can do stages and get a score up to like 1,000 or something. But all the rewards stop at 130. So after you get 130, which is achievable for everyone, that's nice. But you can definitely compete for, cosmetics and, badges and, bragging rights. But it's, for the rewards that are given out, it's pretty fair and pretty good for all free-to-play players. Yeah. But, yeah, it's always, PGR is, like I said, PGR is very generous with their daily and weekly premium currency income. So unlike other games where you kind of want to re-roll or do certain times, PGR is most important to start early and to play daily if you want to be free to play. You get something like, I don't know how much you get. Top up, recharge, black card. You get something like $150 of premium currency a month, every single month, if you do your dailies or something like that. Maybe not 150, maybe I meant per patch. Yeah, I think per patch. You probably get $100 per month about. But anyways, let me wrap this up. This one, I did enjoy this a lot. Though honestly, I'm a little confused. I feel like and again, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of when they focus the story on the player character, and they kind of force lines and personality on you, which I don't like. I mean, I feel like the beginning of the PGR story had less of that, but now for a lot of these, especially this coding, they're trying to sell you this, romantic relationship between you and Liv, so that you'll pay $50 to buy this coding, which I'm very tempted to, but I don't have money, so I can't. Yeah, I mean, after this, I don't think there's any codings I'm looking forward to. So this one's really nice. Maybe I'll have a successful streaming career by the time this comes around as a rerun. But if not, it's all right too. I don't think I want to spend it. It's a really nice one. This is definitely this is the only other one I would consider buying. I think it's like $50. Yeah, this is an ultra premium coding. Yeah. This is an ultra premium coding though. It's ultra premium. I mean, that's the other thing. Technically, I have enough saved up black cards to buy it, I think. But I'm really dead set on getting SSS Lucia in February, and so for that reason I'm gonna have to pass. Maybe the next time this comes around I'll have enough extra black cards to roll in it. I'll just have to wait. I don't know when it's gonna come, but the story was kind of it was cute. I think definitely, like I said, it's for trying to force a romance between you and Liv, to sell you the gacha, and I'm sure it worked. I mean, a lot of people have this coding. But yeah, I mean, I guess it worked for me for Dance of Riplet's story, and I bought Lucia's coding, this one, the ice one right here. I would say Dance of Riplet's story was better, but that's because I'm a Lucia fan. Am I being objective? Absolutely not, but I will stand by Lucia's side, regardless. Okay, that was fun though, and we had to do it because it's going away. But like I said earlier, I don't know what I'm going to do for PGR content. I do feel like it's a little slow. Here, I'll even show you this right here. Aside from this new game mode, which is permanent, there are no events. And there's 17 days left of the patch. So there's literally nothing to do for the next 17 days. Before, there was so much to do. I used to stream PGR 6 days a week. And now, it was just so little. I mean, I guess I could do this thing, but I mean, first, the rewards aren't great. and it's so grindy. It's like I really didn't like Recitativo's game mode. There's some kind of story tied behind it, but it's I don't like how slow the story plays out, so it feels very weird, like very unconcentrated, which I don't like. Feels like you know, you do a little bit and you'll forget about it, and then you do a little bit more. The story is it's kind of nice though, but you know, I don't like that kind of format, so maybe I'll get around to it one day, maybe not. Thank you, Tigress. Yeah, but in terms of content, PGR, I think I'm gonna try to tune it down. I still play it maybe once in a while, just so it's still on my played games list. Since it's kind of, I don't know. I'll definitely want to be back when, you know, Lucia Crimson Weave drops in February. But you know, I'm kind of just holding on. I'm definitely have a lot of big ideas on growing my stream, but you know, not enough time to get those things set up. You know, the big thing I'm worried about now is my upcoming trip to Japan. So I'm gonna try to work on stuff then, and that's about it. Hopefully I feel refreshed and have new inspiration and have my schedule cleared. That's the main thing. Have schedule cleared and time and boundaries set so that I can try to take my stream to the next level. I won't be quitting streaming. I'm gonna do this until the day I die. I don't say that lightly, but I do mean it when I say it. This won't be the last of me, but this may be. I might have to turn down PGR a little bit. I think it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely something for streaming. Thank you, Tigress. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, I thought about just stopping PGR Story, which I'm probably gonna stop. You know, I said that last time during Cinder Burns already. It was such a painful experience streaming it. Cinder Burns was real rough too, because there was a little boy.
So it's talk like this all the time.
And then he had another little boy, his friends.
So I talk like this all the time.
And it was really rough. And then there was his aunt and his mom, and then like another little girl, and then Bella too. And it was like, oh, and I had to do that for like 5 or 6 streams. Yeah, not only was it really discouraging, but it was also really rough on my voice. Yeah, that's why I love Minori. She's my muse and my inspiration. She's just what I need right now. She's, you know, like I said, she auditioned 51 plus times. Now it's like 53. If you actually count it up, you can actually add it up the time she auditioned and got rejected. Thank you for the follow, Antilux. Thank you and welcome to the stream. Oh, I forgot. I'm doing a dorm. Anyone have head pat requests? It's been so long since I asked. It's really been a long time. Shop, but yeah, I do play this game daily. But I don't know how I feel about it streaming it, you know, going forward. Let's see, where's Chrome? Chrome. Dun, dun. Oh, it's here. Yeah, at least we did that one, so we won't miss that story when it disappears. Because, you know, it is leaving in like 2 days. So, you know, if you guys haven't done it and you're interested in doing it, you know, do it. But, you know, I guess if you watch the stream, then you might have caught some of the story anyways. But yeah, I think, so tomorrow, I think this is about the end of the stream. Yeah, we're getting close. I literally have no PGR content to do. There's nothing else I could do unless I mean, I'm hoping to do a Norman 6 run one day, but also probably after my vacation as well. Not anytime soon. No, that one will definitely be fun to do, and I've wanted to for a while, but the timing's not right, and I don't have things set up. But yes, so for tomorrow, I don't know yet. I'm thinking probably Project Sekai Rhythm. I think it's Project Sekai Rhythm. Ah, what is going on? Raid. Thank you so much for the raid, Antilux. Hello, Vampire Love Raid. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you so much for the raid and welcome raiders. But I'm actually just about to wrap up my stream. So it's a little weird. But thank you. Thank you regardless. You love my mod? Oh, thank you, thank you. It's kind of basic. I'm hoping to get a live 2D one day. But who knows when? It's gonna be a while. That timing, yeah, I know. It seems it is. But thank you very much anyways. Yeah, let's here. Were you playing? What were you streaming earlier? Were you streaming PGR as well? I can try to find someone to raid. I have time today. It was okay. How did your stream go? Hope it went well. Okay, let me find someone PGR streaming right now. See whoever's up. Yes, thank you everyone for watching. Tomorrow, let's see, where's PGR categories? A little slow right now. Okay, let's just get. Let's see, Neo, PGR. Okay, let's get the English speaker here. It went well. Okay, good. All right, but thank you for the rate. Oh, thank you for the follow as well, Tip Killer. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be streaming. If I don't, I will post to my Twitter. If it is, it'll most likely be Project Sekai Rhythm. Also, I might take a day off because I do have a lot of things to do before my trip to Japan. And also, if you guys are new, you can please follow my Twitter. I'm hoping to post a lot of content there on my trip to Japan. Yeah, that's it for tonight. We'll get a raid. Thank you again so much for the raid, and we'll get this raid going. Keep this raid train going. All right, how do I start this thing? I have a button here somewhere. Okay, raid. Neo PGR. They even have PGR in their title. They must be a PGR player. Okay, we're gonna raid now. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Good night, everyone. Bye bye. All right, raiding now.